Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And I'm here for another Monday This and That video, which, if you're new, is a weekly vlog that I do where I can keep you more up to date and current on what is going on around here and answer questions that have come in the past week, especially since the rest of the videos you see throughout the rest of the week, the full-length videos, were shot at least 4 to 6 weeks ahead of time. And now that I'm doing a lot of remastered videos, some of those videos, that the ones you'll see publishing on Wednesday for the next several months, those were shot from around 2016 to 2018. Ones that I felt really needed a good reboot and improvement on the picture and sound, and just adding more information as is needed, and then getting them back out there to you again. So let's get to the topics of today, starting off with just another little thing about the importance of eating whole foods and getting your nutrients in that form. Now, I'm absolutely not against taking supplements as is necessary. Sometimes we just need, especially as we're trying to heal our body from various things, we need just that little bit extra. And if that's the case, my newest place that I recommend for getting supplements is Azure Standard. They're Azure Well supplements, because they are going to be more expensive, but Azure Standard is very good at keeping things tested, putting out quality products. Coming back to the idea of whole foods, is that every day, especially within the last couple of years, it's just getting worse all the time, where people are freaking out about certain minerals, nutrients, and enzymes that are in different foods that we eat, and about how they can cause this, that, and the other. Now, for people who have sensitive digestive systems or certain other health issues, yes, I understand people needing to be careful, just like I need to be careful about taking iron. I cannot take iron in any kind of supplementation form. Now, getting it naturally through foods or even cooking with cast iron doesn't bother me, but being thalassaemic, which is a blood trait passed down through my Mediterranean descent, since a good portion of my ancestry is Italian, what that means is that I already have enough iron in my system, and taking more iron will actually cause me to become anemic, rather than people who may need to add more iron to their diet to prevent anemia. But even that, even if you need to add iron, it should be done in a more whole food form, because too much iron, even for those who need it, can cause serious illness. I had a video come out on seeds, the types of seeds I like to use, and why I add them. And the reason I started adding seeds to different things that I make, whether it be different meat-related recipes like meatloaf, meatballs, and more, or different bread recipes, is so that I could have a way to get more of the really good minerals and the combination of minerals that are within there into our diet in a whole food form, rather than depending on supplements to do that. Now, here's the issue with taking supplements, especially when you're talking about picking out various different vitamins or especially minerals, and taking them separately, is they're not combined correctly like they are in food. When you find them in your food form, just like in seeds, you're going to find them combined properly. Just like calcium should never be taken by itself. It needs magnesium and or potassium to work properly within the body. They keep a better balance that way. What a lot of people don't realize is that when an overload of things like selenium, omega-6, whatever it is, it's when you're taking them in the supplement form that you can easily get too much and overload on. And that's where the issue lies. But then what happens is then all the whole food, natural whole food that are high in things like selenium, omega-6, and so on, get demonized because they have those in it, without the proper understanding that when you're eating them in the whole food form, they are properly combined with the other nutrients they need to keep a good balance within the body. Such as the seeds, they might have omega-6, but they also have a proper balance of omega-3. While they're high, most of them are high in calcium, they're also high in magnesium, manganese, and potassium. And that's going to be almost all of your seeds. And then Brazil nuts, same thing. There's not a fear of eating too many Brazil nuts. So doctors that are telling you never eat more than 2 Brazil nuts a day or you're going to overload on selenium, that's just not true. In fact, there's even NIH articles or publications that talk about having people eat a whole bunch of Brazil nuts all at once and how it helped cure them of some various ailments. So eating a handful of Brazil nuts every single day is not going to hurt you. And the reason why is the selenium is properly balanced within those nuts with all the other nutrients that are within them. I think we just need to stop being so afraid of whole natural foods. You do what's best for you according to your own health issues, but we need to stop fear-mongering every natural food there is out there, especially when we're talking about nutrients that are in their whole food form. That's what counts. Now, the other thing was talking about herbal sun tea. So last year I did a video on making some cold infusions, so herbal cold infusions. And the way I prefer to do it is to do it in the fridge and then let it sit for 24 hours. I'll link to that video down below where I give a whole bunch of different ideas of different blends you can make, but really it's whatever you want. And my favorite way to do it is to just shove them into the jar with some water, put it in the fridge, and then 24 hours later, it's nicely infused and ready to drink. And yes, it'll keep in the fridge for several days like that. But if you need to speed up the process like I did the other day, because I was like, oh, why didn't I think of this a day ahead of time when we had friends coming over for dinner? And I thought early enough in the day to go ahead and put some herbs and some water, let them sit in the sun for just a couple of hours, not all day, then stick them in the fridge to let them chill. That's going to help speed up that process. So you can make herbal sun teas. My only issue with herbal sun teas is that it's too much direct sun. Once the plant has been once the herbs have been separated from the body of the plant, I worry about the sun then damaging some of the good nutrients that are within those herbs. That's why I don't do a lot of sun related infusions, but a lot of it will also depend on the herb that you're using. But yes, you can do herbal sun teas. I do highly recommend, though, if you can stay ahead of it, doing the cold infusion in the refrigerator where you're not having to use any direct sunlight. But the sun, the heat from the sun does help. But you could also do the same idea by just heating the water, pouring it over your herbs, and then letting it come down to room temperature and then sticking it in the fridge. But there's just some different ideas for you there. But yeah, so check out my video I did on some cold infusions just to give you a few ideas of ways that you can use your different herbs from your garden, and it's free because they're there. Like we have tons of mojito mint, tons and tons of mojito mint, and it makes a great cold infusion. But oftentimes I will combine it with other things like holy basil, and then one of my favorites for the summer is lemon balm with orange mint put together. So there's just a couple ideas. Now let's get to the jar update. So last week I was talking about the wide mouth vintage jars that Patrick had found. And here's one of them here that still needs a bale wire. I did find a set of 3 thanks to somebody who gave me the link of the bale wires. I did want the original vintage wires. And how I like to use my jars is for dry food storage rather than for canning. So, I still want those, the wire to hold the lid firmly in place. And so here's the picture of the 3 that I have right now where I can also display them. One jar has dried orange peels, one has dried bell peppers, and the other one has dried red and green cabbage. And I have them where they're not getting direct sunlight, by the way, but you can still admire how pretty they are. And then I have one more jar once my next set of bale wires come in. Now, the other question I wanted to answer is in regards to the rubber ring. Now, these also did not come with the rubber ring, which for these type of jars, it's usually thicker and wider than what you're seeing right here. But what I did, initially I started with some silicone rings that I had, and they work okay, but they kept wanting to roll up, and that was an issue. So what I have here, because I have a ton of these, are the Tatler rubber rings. And that works really good. You got to kind of stretch it over there, but it fits nice and snug. It doesn't roll up, but it also gives that cushion and seal between the lid and the jar. So yes, you do need to have some kind of ring here, be it silicone or rubber. Obviously, if you're going to use them for canning, you're going to need it anyway. But if you're just, even if you're using it for food storage, having that is going to give it a better seal to keep the air out, but also to prevent any chipping going on between the lid and the jar itself. So that's what I did. But the rubber rings, like the original style, you can, I think, even find brand new ones. And those are a lot easier to find than the bale wires, especially the original bale wires. You can find the wires for putting on your jars where it actually wraps around any mason jar and you can use it as a hanger. So you got to pay attention to what you're looking up. If you put bale wires and you go to Amazon, you'll find all kind of crafty things, but they're not the original ones that fit into these little holes right here that are in the vintage jars. So like I said, this is the Eclipse, which means it was made between the years 1926 to 1952. Now, the other thing I wanted to update you on are my vinegar. So I'm going to put a picture here as well. What you see on the left is my 3-week-old floral vinegar. It should be going on 4 weeks, just real soon here. And then the one in the center is one that's been going for a week that you would have seen in last week's video. And then the brightest one, as far as the flowers look, are my rose and lavender from, I just started yesterday. And so I thought it'd be kind of cool to show it in the various different degrees. So you can see this first one, because it is past the point where it's no longer fizzy and bubbly. So that means all of the material has sunk to the bottom. This is still bubbly, so it's still floating above the top of the water because it's only been going for a week. I did actually just yesterday take out some of the really faded petals and lavender flowers and then put some fresh ones in because I have a lot of roses blooming and there's lots and lots of lavender. My lavender bush out here out back is my biggest one. This thing's gotten massive. And the chickens love it, by the way. They love to huddle under there in the evening just before they go to bed, especially on a hot day because it's shady. But I also found out that chickens just really enjoy lavender anyway, the scent of it, because it's very calming. This one hasn't started bubbling yet because I just started it yesterday, but I still like to come in and push the stuff back down. So I actually stuffed a lot of flowers into this, more than I usually do, because I have so much lavender out there. And roses. My 2 favorite ones to make and use for my hair are the rose and lavender, which is going to have the most powerful floral aroma than any I've made. And then the other is the rosemary and nasturtium, which that one, I always forget to tell people when you're making that one, it tends to have a smell of sulfur, which isn't pleasant. But that smell is gone by the time it gets to the vinegar stage and I go to use it on my hair. But I'm not growing nasturtiums this year because they are annuals. I have a few trying to pop up from seed, but around here, I don't get a lot that come up from seed on their own. They do better if I start them in a warmer area in the spring and then move them to the more open areas. So it takes a while. By now I should have nasturtiums if I had started them like I normally would, but I don't have any flowers. I just have a few little struggling plants right now. But, you know, because I'm giving my gardens a break, I'm just letting things do what they do naturally, and the chickens get to just kind of roam free in most of those areas. And they keep my chicory that's back there. I have a chicory out front that is safe from the chickens, but the chicory that's back there, I never see hide nor hair of it, because as soon as anything comes up out of the ground, chickens eat it. They love chicory and it's very good for them. That's the main reason I started growing chicory in the first place. But you might have seen that post I put out this past week about where I showed the picture of the chicory flowers. So my chicory plant's kind of hanging over my golden oregano, but it just made such a pretty display with the golden oregano behind it. So I took that picture, but yeah, that's the only one I can get chicory from. But I do have a video on the benefits of chicory. So that's the leaves, flowers, and the roots. And so you can use more than just the roots. You can use those leaves. And like I said, the chickens love them. They love them. So anyway, I also wanted to share this. So some of you know that I finally broke down and got myself some linen bedding. Love it so much. I could never go back to any other kind of sheet. I love the linen so much. And I decided to go ahead and pay the extra money to get myself some linen fabric by the yard, because I was able to find I could get some cheaper by the yard than buying a sheet set and cutting it up. And so I got a pretty dark green and a navy blue and made myself a couple of skirts. So this will not only be warm in the winter, but it'll also be nice and cool for these warmer months. And of course I did make some tassels to match this. These will likely just stay on here. I didn't use the hook. I just put the loop on there like that, sewed it into the skirt, a loop that I crocheted, and then just loop these right over that. And that way they're always there, and they're cotton, so I can just throw it in the wash with the skirt. But anyway, it feels so nice. Now, if you've ever bought linen at all by the yard or anything, when you first get it, it's kind of stiff and weird feeling, but once you wash it, it just has a really nice soft feeling to it. And so I just finished up this skirt yesterday and the navy one the day before. And so I tried this on last night and I'm like, oh, this just feels so nice. I'm not wearing it now because I'm not really quite ready to wear these as work skirts. I want to keep them nice for a while, but I might end up making myself some more because my cotton skirts that I wear as work skirts, they get so beat up. I'm talking just tattered, and I'm constantly having to, you know, after a year to 2 years is when they really start seeing wear. And so I'm constantly patching them and whatnot, and the bottom of my hem gets like this gray, this black and gray one I'm wearing, it gets pretty frayed. You can see little holes in the fabric. I don't know, you probably can't see, but there's little holes right here. I am so hard on my work skirts. So, and this is what this is. It's got a black top, and then I just used shades of gray on the bottom because I knew it was going to get dirty. I was making it to be a work skirt, but boy, it's right at 2 years old right now. And this thing, I've sewn patches on it. I've got patches. You can see a patch right here. I'm so hard on them. But what I'm hoping is that the linen is going to hold up better. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, I'm not quite ready to wear these as work skirts because they're too nice. I just made them. So I don't want to get them all stained and messed up yet. So I might have to just go ahead and get some more fabric and make another one just as a work skirt. And then a couple more things. I wanted to remind everybody about the shorts. People are still confused as to how to use the links on shorts because YouTube is making it really, it kind of is like Instagram in the fact that it makes it where just for the shorts, for some reason, you're not allowed to put clickable links in the description. And sometimes even when I put them in a pinned comment, in a lot of cases, some people still can't click on that one either. But they, at least for YouTube, they allow for one clickable link on the screen itself. So here's an image from one of my shorts. I don't know if it's published yet. I just grabbed one and took a screenshot of it. And I got a green arrow pointing right to where that link is. So anytime I have a link, so if it's a video, like let's say on an herb, like rosemary or mullein or chicory or whatever it is, then anytime it's a short that's about an herb where I'm showing a bunch of different pictures with music, the whole point of that is to link you back to the full video where I talk about the benefits and ways that you can use it. And that link will always be provided directly on the screen. So you just click right on that link that's right on the screen. It's even got the little play symbol right next to it. And then one more thing is about the photo collaboration I was talking about for the food storage. So if you're wanting to be a part of that photo collaboration, you just send me your best, clearest photos, nicest looking photos of whatever food storage related thing, whether it be things you've canned, you've dried, or things that you bought and put up yourself, and a picture of your pantry or a picture of just the items themselves and looking nice. And then you send that to raincountryhomestead@gmail.com. But I forgot to say one thing. Make sure you let me know which name you would like me to attribute to your photos. So usually I put a name. If I don't get a name, I'll just put the photo without a name. Some people don't want their whole name used. Some people might want, if they have a channel or a blog site, they might want that put in there. Make sure you let me know. I can't have it be too many words. Like some people want, me to put all of this in for, I can't do that. It's just got to be very simple. Just your name or your channel or blog site name. And make sure I know that so that I can add that and attribute the photos to you or the way you want it attributed. So anyway, that's it for my this and that for the week. And don't forget to open the description box by clicking on more or show more somewhere down here below the video screen. You might have to scroll down past an ad, especially if you're on Rumble. And then click on that. It'll open the description box. You can find any of the links I'm putting in there. And any thoughts, ideas you'd like to share, put them in comments down below, because your comments do help boost our videos in the algorithms. And don't forget to like. And if you've become unsubscribed, like keeps happening to so many people, like about up to 50% of my followers are either getting unsubscribed or having my videos hidden from them. It's been going on for months. But just make sure you're subscribed if you just happen to be seeing this video. And thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.